Montu. 41 languages. Montu. Montu is usually depicted as a falcon-headed man, adorned with two tall plumes on a sun disk. Name in hieroglyphs. Major cult center Hermanthus, Thebes. Metamud, Eltod. Consort Rit Tai, Tijanenayat. I-unit, or Setet. For other uses, see Montu, disambiguation. Montu was a falcon god of war in the ancient Egyptian religion, an embodiment of the conquering vitality of the pharaoh. One he was particularly worshipped in Upper Egypt and in the district of Thebes. 2. Ramesses II, whom victory was foretold as he came from the womb, whom valor was given while in the egg. Bull firm of heart as he treads the arena. Godly king going forth like Montu on victory day. From the Bent Resh Stela 3. Name edit. Montu's name, shown in Egyptian hieroglyphs to the right, is technically transcribed as MNTW, meaning nomad 4-5. Because of the difficulty in transcribing Egyptian vowels, it is often realized as Mont, Munthu, Montju, Ment, or Menthu. 4. Role and characteristics edit. A very ancient god, Montu was originally a manifestation of the scorching effect of Ra, the sun, and as such often appeared under the epithet Montu. Ra. The destructiveness of this characteristic led to him gaining characteristics of a warrior, and eventually becoming a widely revered war god. The Egyptians thought that Montu would attack the enemies of Mot, that is, of the truth, of the cosmic order, while inspiring, at the same time, glorious warlike exploits. 6. It is possible that Montu Ra and Adam Ra symbolized the two kingships. Explore our developer-friendly HTML to PDF API printed using PDF Crowd HTML to PDF. A peculiar representation of the god Khonsu as Montu in the Temple of Khonsu at Karnak, respectively, of Upper and Lower Egypt. 7. When linked with Horus, Montu's epithet was Horus of the strong arm. 8. Because of the association of raging bulls with strength and war, the Egyptians also believed that Montu manifested himself as a white, black-snout bull named Butchis, Hellenization of the original Baka, a living bull revered in Armont, to the point that, in the late period, 7th to 4th centuries BC, Montu was depicted with a bull's head too. This special sacred bull had dozens of servants and wore precious crowns and bibs. 7. In Egyptian art, Montu was depicted as a falcon-headed or bull-headed man, with his head surmounted by the solar disk, because of his conceptual link with Ra2, with either a double or singular uraeus, 9-10, and 2 feathers. The falcon was a symbol of the sky and the bull was a symbol of strength and war. He could also wield various weapons, such as a curved sword, a spear, bow and arrows, or knives. Such military iconography was widespread in the New Kingdom, 16th to 11th centuries BC. 4. Montu had several consorts, including the little-known Theban goddesses Tijanenayat 11 and I-unit, 12 and a female form of Ra, Rit Tai. 8. He was also revered as one of the patrons of the city of Thebes and its fortresses. The sovereigns of the 11th dynasty, c. 2134–1991 BC, chose Montu as a protective and dynastic deity, inserting references to him in their own names. For example, 4 pharaohs of the 11th dynasty were called Mentuhotep, which means Montu, Mentu, is satisfied. Mentuhotep I, c. 2135 BC, may be a fictional figure. Nebpatra Mentuhotep II, c. 2061–2010 BC. Sankar Mentuhotep III, c. 2010-1998 BC. Netarimentuhotep IV, c. 1998-1991 BC. 1. The Greeks associated Montu with their god of war Ares, although that did not prevent his assimilation to Apollo, probably due to the solar radiance that distinguished him. 4.8. Montu and the pharaohs at war. Edit. The cult of this military god enjoyed great prestige under the pharaohs of the 11th dynasty, one whose expansionism and military successes led, around 2055 BC, to the reunification of Egypt, the end of a period of chaos known today as the First Intermediate Period, and a new era of greatness for the country. This part of Egyptian history, known as the Middle Kingdom, c. 2055-1650 BC, 13 was a period in which Montu assumed the role of supreme god before then gradually being surpassed. Explore our developer-friendly HTML to PDF API printed using PDF Crowd HTML to PDF. Mentuhotep II. Devotee of Montu. From his mortuary. Temple in Deir el-Bahari. Ptolemaic, 4th/1 st century. BC, statue of Montu with bull's head, symbol of military valor. Louvre, Paris. By the other Theban god Amun, destined to become the most important deity of the Egyptian pantheon. 2. From the 11th dynasty onward, Montu was considered the symbol of the pharaohs as rulers, conquerors, and winners, as well as their inspirer on the battlefield. The Egyptian armies were surmounted by the insignia of the four Montu, Montu of Thebes, of Armont, of Metamud, and of El Tod, the main cult centers of the god, all represented while trampling and piercing enemies with a spear in a classic pugnacious pose. 6. A ceremonial battle axe belonging to the funeral kit of Queen Ahotep II, great royal wife of the warlike Pharaoh Kamos, c. 1555-1550 BC, who lived between the 17th and 18th dynasty, represents Montu as a proud-winged griffin, an iconography clearly influenced by the same Syriac origin which inspired Minoan art. 14. Egypt's greatest general kings called themselves Mighty Bull. Son of Montu, Montu is with his strong/right arm. Montu Herkhapeshef, which was also the given name of a son of Ramesses II, of one of Ramesses III and one of Ramesses IX. Thutmose III, c. 1479-1425 BC, the Napoleon of Egypt, 15 was described in ancient times as a valiant Montu on the battlefield. For an inscription from his son Amenhotep II, 1427-1401 BC, recalls that the 18-year-old pharaoh was able to shoot arrows through copper targets while driving a war chariot, commenting that he had the skill and strength of Montu. 7. The latter's grandson, Amenhotep III the Magnificent, c. 1388-1350 BC, called himself Montu of the rulers in spite of his own peaceful reign. 16. In the narrative of the Battle of Kadesh, c. 1274 BC, Ramesses II the Great, who proudly called himself Montu of the two lands, for was said to have seen the enemy and raged at them like Montu, Lord of Thebes. 17. His Majesty passed the fortress of Tijeru, like Montu when he goes forth. Every country trembled before him, fear was in their hearts, the goodly watch in life, prosperity and health, in the tent of His Majesty, was on the highland south of Kadesh. When His Majesty appeared like the rising of Re, he assumed the adornments of his father, Montu. Kadesh inscriptions. 18. Explore our developer-friendly HTML to PDF API printed using PDF Crowd HTML to PDF. Pharaoh Ptolemy IV Philopater. 222-204 BC, adoring Montu in the place of truth of Deir el Medina. Ruins of the Temple of Armant in a 19th century. Photography. Temples edit. Metamud edit. Further information, Temple of Montu, Metamud. The temple complex of Montu in Metamud, the ancient Medu, less than 5 kilometers northeast of today's Luxor, 19 was built by the great pharaoh Senusret III, c. 1878-1839 BC, of the 12th dynasty, probably on a pre-existing sacred site of the Old Kingdom. The temple courtyard was used as a dwelling for the living Butchis bull, revered as an incarnation of Montu. 7. The main entrance was to the northeast, while a sacred lake was probably on the west side of the sanctuary. The building consisted of 2 distinct adjoining sections, perhaps a temple to the north end, a temple to the south, houses of the priests. It was built in raw bricks, while the innermost cella of the deity was built of carved stone. The Templar complex of Metamud underwent important restorations and renovations during the New Kingdom, and in the Ptolemaic and Roman period. 14. Armant edit. At Armant, the ancient Iuni, there was an impressive temple of Montu, at least since the 11th dynasty, which may have been native of Armant. King Mentuhotep II is its first known builder, but the original complex was enlarged and embellished during the 12th dynasty, the less well-known 13th dynasty, c. 1803–1649 BC, and later in the New Kingdom, especially under King Thutmose III. 20 Ramesses II, 1279. 1213 BC, and his son Merneptah, 1213–1203 BC, of the 19th dynasty. Added colossi and statues. 20 It was dismantled, except for a pylon, in the late period, 7th/4th century BC, but a new temple was begun by King Nectanebo II, 363–42 BC, the last native pharaoh of Egypt, and continued by the Ptolemies. In the 1st century BC, Cleopatra 751–30 BC, built a mamazi and a sacred lake there in honor of her son, the very young Ptolemy. 15 Caesarion. 21 The building remained visible until 1861, when it was demolished to reuse its material in the construction of a sugar factory. However, etchings, prints and previous studies, for example the Napoleonic description de l'Egypte, show its appearance. Only the remains of the pylon of Thutmose III are still visible in addition to the ruins of 2 entrances, one of which was Explore our developer-friendly HTML to PDF API printed using PDF Crowd HTML to PDF. Built under the 2nd century AD Roman Emperor/Pharaoh Antoninus Pius. In the large Armant complex, moreover, there was the Bucceum, necropolis of the Butchis sacred bulls. The first burial of a Butchis in this special necropolis dates back to the reign of Nectanebo II, c. 340 BC, while the final one took place at the time of the Emperor/Pharaoh Diocletian, c. 300 AD. 14. Karnak and Uronardi edit. In the Great Karnak Temple Complex, north of the monumental Temple of Amun, King Amenhotep III built a sacred enclosure to Montu. 214 Another temple had been dedicated to him at the little-known fortress of Uronardi, near the Second Cataract of the Nile, specifically to the south of it. During the Middle Kingdom. Gallery edit. Explore our developer-friendly HTML to PDF API printed using PDF Crowd HTML to PDF. Relief of Menthu in Metamud. Statue of Montu, 664–332 BCE. Relief on the back wall of the Ptolemaic pronaos of the month Temple of El Tod. A coarse stela representing the warrior Pharaoh Senusret III, 1878–1839 BC, in the presence of Montu. Egyptian Museum, Cairo. Montu, as a griffin, on a ceremonial axe. Representing the warrior. Pharaoh Ahmose I, c. 1549–1524 BC, trampling an enemy. Drawing of a petroglyph. In Kanaso with the goddess Satis, the Ithyphallic god Min. Montu and the cartouche of King Neferhotep I, c. 1747–1736 BC. Explore our developer-friendly HTML to PDF API printed using PDF Crowd HTML to PDF. Fragmentary lintel from the Temple of Montu in El Tod, mentioning Montu, King Mentuhotep II and the goddess Satis. Louvre, Paris. Ruins of the Temple of Montu in Armont. Published in the Holy Land, Syria, Edomia, Arabia, Egypt, and Nubia. After a watercolor by David Roberts, 1849. Ruins of the Temple of Montu in Metamud. References edit. 1 ABC Hart, George, A Dictionary of Egyptian Gods and Goddesses, Routledge, 1986, ISBN 0-415. 05909-7P126. 2 ABCDE Ratchet, Guy, 1994. Dizionario della Civiltà Egizia. Rome, Grimas Editor. ISBN 88-7605. 818-4P208. 3 Miriam Lichtheim, Ancient Egyptian Literature. Volume 3, Late Period, University of California Press. 1980 p91. ISBN 0-520-04020-1. 4 ABCDEF Gods of Ancient Egypt, Montu. www.ancientegyptonline.co.uk. Retrieved May 3, 2018. 5 Ruiz, Anna, 2001. The Spirit of Ancient Egypt. Algora Publishing. p. 115. ISBN 9781892941688. Montu Nomad. 6 A. B. Pinch, Geraldine. Egyptian Mythology, A Guide to the Gods, Goddesses, and Traditions of Ancient Egypt. Oxford University Press, 2004. ISBN 978-0-19-517024-5. p. 165. 7 ABCD Pinch 2004, p. 166. 8 ABC Wilkinson, Richard H. 2003. The Complete Gods and Goddesses of Ancient Egypt. Thames and Hudson. Pages 2034. 9 Montu Description and Story Britannica. www.britannica.com. Retrieved May 30, 2023. 10 Egypt, Montu, Solar and Warrior God. www.turigypt.net. Retrieved May 30, 2023. 11 Wilkinson 2003, p. 168. 12 Wilkinson 2003, p. 150. 13 Guy Calendar, The Middle Kingdom Renaissance, in Ian Shaw, ed. The Oxford History of Ancient Egypt, Oxford University Press, Oxford, 2000, ISBN 0-19-815034-2, pages 148–183. 14 ABCD Hart 1986, p. 127. 15 J.H. Breasted, Ancient Times, A History of the Early World, An Introduction to the Study of Ancient History and the Career of Early Man. Outlines of European History 1. Boston, Ginn and Company. 1914, p. 85. Explore our developer-friendly HTML to PDF API printed using PDF Crowd HTML to PDF. 16 O'Connor, David, Klein, Eric H. 2001. Amenhotep III, Perspectives on His Reign. University of Michigan Press. ISBN 978-0472088331, pp 69-70. 17 Egyptian Accounts of the Battle of Kadesh. www.rishafim.org.il. Retrieved May 4, 2018. 18 Egyptian Accounts of the Battle of Kadesh. 19 Fletcher, Joanne. 2011, Cleopatra the Great, The Woman Behind the Legend. HarperCollins. ISBN 978-0-06-210605-6. Pages 114 SS. 20 A. B. Bard, Catherine A. November 3, 2005. Encyclopedia of the Archaeology of Ancient Egypt. Routledge. ISBN 978-1134665259. 21 The Mamazi. www.rishafim.org.il. Archived from the original on April 15, 2018. Retrieved May 4, 2018. Bibliography Edit. Hart, George, 1986, A Dictionary of Egyptian Gods and Goddesses, London, Routledge. ISBN 0-415-05909-7. Ratchet, Guy, 1994. Dizionario della Civiltà Egizia. Rome, Grimas Editor. ISBN 88-7605-818. 4. Wilkinson, Richard H. 2003, The Complete Gods and Goddesses of Ancient Egypt, Thames and Hudson, ISBN 0-500-05120-8. Categories: Egyptian gods, war gods, falcon deities, animal gods, cattle deities. Explore our developer-friendly HTML to PDF API printed using PDF Crowd HTML to PDF.